Well, I want to start the class. There's going to be a long road. We're going to learn a lot in this class about a lot of different disorders. We sort of have this first module here where we talk big picture stuff. What is psych disorder? What are the big lenses from which it's been viewed over history? How do we assess it? But then we're going to get into particular disorders for most of the class. 6 out of the last 7 modules are just looking at particular disorders. And how do they work? What is it like to have that disorder? What causes it? How do we treat it? And as we go through those 6 out of 7 modules, and even before that, you're probably going to run into something called the medical student syndrome. And what that means is when students are in medical school, they often have this funny experience where they're learning about like typhoid fever, and like they're reading about the symptoms, trying to memorize it for some test, and all of a sudden they start feeling like, oh my gosh. It's usually you feel really hot or you feel dizzy, and it's like, oh my gosh, I feel kind of hot and I feel kind of dizzy. Do I have typhoid fever right now? What are the odds in 2021 or whatever year it is? So that's what medical student syndrome means, and it is so easy to have it with psychological disorders. Now, part of the reason for that is that psychological disorders aren't actually bacteria that get in you and you either have them or you don't. For the most part, these are all things that vary in degree, and there can be kernels of the processes that add up to a disorder in everyone. Or I know that you and I know that I have little bits of various of these disorders. Maybe we meet criteria for some of them. It's not uncommon to do that. As I say in the syllabus, about half of the population of the United States will meet criteria for a disorder, at least one, in their lifetime at some point or another. Doesn't mean half people have one all the time, but half people at some point in their life are going to have one. So it's not like super rare for people to have one, but I think that probably you might find, especially if you tend to be kind of introverted, introspective, you might find that your brain is telling you, my gosh, I have this one. Next module, oh my gosh, I have that one. Next module, oh, I also have that one. And your brain is going to be telling you that. And if that's something that upsets you, if you're like, oh my gosh, it's bad that I have this disorder. I mean, I don't even know if that's true, but it would be something to temper back. I guarantee you, I thought I had pretty much all of them when I took the class. I fortunately only probably have a couple. But it even happened to me when I was in graduate school. Do you know what I was studying in graduate school when this happened to me? Parkinson's disease. I wasn't even 30 years old yet. I was in my late 20s, and I was doing my dissertation on Parkinson's disease. I was studying vision in Parkinson's disease. I told you I used to study vision, and I still do actually. And I literally, my finger started twitching. And I knew that was what happened to Michael J. Fox when he first got Parkinson's. I was Michael J. Fox is someone I thought about fairly regularly because I applied to his foundation to get money for research and stuff. He has a big foundation for Parkinson's research now. So anyway, I literally thought I had Parkinson's disease. I was it's very, very rare to have this early onset. This is earlier than Michael J. Fox, and he was very, very early. But I literally got medical student syndrome with Parkinson's disease. And I definitely don't have Parkinson's disease. But your brain and body can do weird things, so try not to worry about it too much. If you get the medical student syndrome and you feel oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind, I have schizophrenia, oh my gosh, I have depression, you could probably think you have a lot of them. But you probably don't. You might have little bits and pieces of that stew or that flavor. I like to think of it as flavors, especially with personality disorders when we get to that. Everybody has a personality, and it's a mix of different things. And if you have too much of one thing, it can really cause a problem for you. And I definitely have bits and pieces of certain of those flavors, and so do you. And the other disorders too, we can have parts of. And it's probably not something to worry about too much. Main thing is if some way you're thinking or feeling is causing a big problem for you, causing you to really suffer and have a lot of pain over a period of time, not just a day, but weeks, or it's causing you to not be able to live your life the way you want to. It's blocking you from some aspect of your life, like work or school or friendship. Then I would definitely think it would be something to get help for. Who cares if we call it a certain disorder, but that's something that might be able to be fixed and is causing you pain or causing you dysfunction, and that's what should determine whether you need to address it. Okay. So I hope that helps as you navigate the course. It's just a personal thing. I want you to enjoy the course. I don't want you to be worrying too much while you take it.